What's up, crew? This is William here, hitting up once again from the forest of prosperity and eternal glory. And in this video I just thought I would give my quick thoughts on meditation and why I think ultimately it's pretty much of a misunderstood concept, so to speak, at least in the Western world, because in media and in newspapers and in the daily tongue, so to speak, meditation is just explained as the concept of pretty much sitting down, trying to still your thoughts, being a monk, whatever. And I think ultimately that's just a small part of meditation, because meditation is such a much larger concept and it's so much more to it than just sitting still and trying to get your thoughts to be still. So I've been meditating for the past 3 or 4 years now, and I also been living with monks in India at Vipassana thing. Maybe you heard about it, where you stay at a place for pretty much 2 weeks. You're not allowed to speak to anyone, you're not allowed to have eye contact with anyone, and you pretty much just sit and meditate for pretty much 10.5 hours each day. So what I thought out by saying is just that even though it's an important part of meditation, just sitting still and practicing it actively, so to speak, I think that practicing meditation passively is something that should be more brought to media, brought to this. That's why I'm filming this video. And what I mean by like passive meditation, so to speak, that's the type of meditation that you do in your daily life when you're not just sitting down, closing your eyes and trying to actively meditate. I'm talking about the type of meditation, for example, when you are washing the dishes and you are intensely present into what's going on, for example. So passive meditation, in my opinion, is when you have your concentration and your focus and your consciousness focused on the present moment in pretty much whatever activity you're doing. You're not being in the past, you're not living in the future, just being intensely in the now. And ultimately that's what meditation is. Also, when you are closing your eyes and doing active meditation, pretty much that's the ultimate goal, just being in the present moment, not getting too hung up on the past, not getting too hung up in the future, just letting your thoughts pass. It's pretty much all the same, just in one form you're practicing more actively and the other is just more passive. So just to start out, I thought I'd give my 2 cents on how I personally meditate, and also to say that it doesn't need to be more complicated than that. Step 1, close your eyes. Step 2, focus your attention on the breath. Don't try to modify it in any way, and then you sit there for your allocated minutes, so to speak. And I think one thing that's really important with meditation is lowering that barrier of entry, so to speak. And what I mean by that is you shouldn't set out as a initial goal to meditate 20 or 30 minutes per day each day, because you will fail and you will stop pretty much. That's how I notice like all the people around me are not regular meditators, so to speak. They meditate in sessions. They meditate and then they fuck up their streak pretty much and then they stop, and I think that's a big problem. So I would say just start out with 5 minutes and make it a ritual. Like each morning sit down, just take 5 minutes, and it doesn't have to be more advanced than that. Just close your eyes, focus your attention on the breath for 5 minutes and just let it be there. Just let the thoughts be there. Just don't get hung up on them. Just let them pass. Just watch the thoughts. Like you're sitting on the side on a roadway and you watch the cars pass. It's just the same, watch your thoughts pass. Okay, so that's the first thing I would say. Just as you get established in a new routine and you really make it a habit, just set 5 minutes per day, each morning or each evening, but I really would suggest morning. It's for me the hands down best way just to get it out of the way. And you always have 5 minutes. I mean, set your alarm 5 minutes earlier and then expand to 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever. And then the other thing I would do is to try to choose a couple of activities where you practice this passive meditation, so to speak. So one thing where I really try to be super present or whatever is, for example, the dishes, which I said before. Another is when I wash my hands, I really try to feel how the water, the hot or the cold water, really rinse through my hands, and I try to be really present in it. The third is when I take my bike to school. I also try to be really present, and I found that really refreshing. So get these small triggers maybe it could be also like every time you stand up, you remind yourself of being present. So when you start to do a new activity, just remind yourself. That is, you know, the fundamentals to it. I don't think you need to be more advanced than that, more complex or whatever. Just start out small and make it a habit, because I mean, the pros of meditation, you can just Google it, you can read it everywhere. There are so many good benefits to do it. So if you haven't done it already, just start doing it. And even though if you don't believe in the spiritual fluff, there is proven, like a lot of studies, you can increase your gray matter in your hippocampus and such, and that's the most what do you call it, like the clearest link at the moment to increased intelligence and stuff we have. And you can also lower your gray matter in areas of the brain which are related to, you know, just sluggishness pretty much. So even though if you don't believe in the spiritual stuff, there are a lot to gain just from the concentration benefits. So yeah, that was all I want to say in this video, and thanks guys, see you in the next one.